Hello, Watem here, and welcome back to some more Higurashi When They Cry. We're almost at the end. We've got 3 achievements left. So I'm guessing one last chapter and then the epilogue. This is the last chapter, effectively. And we know that it's going to end today. Our school wasn't a normal school compared to others. We were using a part of the forestry service building. Unusual things like this happened sometimes.
いやいや、こんなの大したことないって。いつだったかな、貝塚いぶきを剪定した枝葉をトラック山盛り何杯分か運び込んできたことがあってさ。あれはひどかった。あの独特の刺激臭は頭痛を起こさせるよね。貝塚いぶきって何ですの？
Satoko.
お野菜の名前なのです。たまにカレーに入ってますのですよ。
今度スーパーに行ったら探してみろ。
よくわかんないけど、最初はリカとケイイチさんに毒味をさせた方が良さそうでございますわね。
あれー、俺たちのボールがねえ。王女、お前がまた隠したんだろう。
The boys seemed to be looking for their ball for a while. They yelled at Satoko.
誰がそんなものを隠しますの？
Oof.
どうせ隠すならもう少し気の利いたものを隠しましたよ。ほらほら、先生来たよ。みんな席に着きな。はい、皆さん。席についてください。
I wonder what that's about. Surely there's no reason for Rena to take the ball, right? Can't think of any reason why. Kept thinking about Rena the whole time during class. I thought about what she said last night. I wanted her to come from behind victory. And according to Kano-san's solution, the masterminds behind the bioterrorism were the 3 families and a group of fanatical believers that controlled those 3. In other words, the Sonozaki family. What could Rena do alone against them? Mion lived with her grandmother, the leader of the Sonozaki family. There were only 2 of them in the house. It was possible that Rena would try to break into their house with a knife. But I'd already come up with that possibility last night. That's why I called Mion and warned her. On the way to school this morning, Mion told me that some bodyguards from the Corps had been at her house since this morning. She told me she'd be guarded herself too. There was a black car parked near the school gate. They must have been the bodyguards. But, according to Takano's parasite theory, the battle wouldn't end just by attacking the leader of the Sonozaki family. According to the delusion she believes in, the conditions of her victory were more complicated than that. She needed to expose the group of fanatics who are behind the Sonozaki family, and she needed to destroy their research on the parasite. Thus, Rena didn't have much time left, thanks to that suspicious poison she mentioned. But how exactly could she win the come-from-behind victory under circumstances like that? She might interpret the town council of a group of fanatics. If so, she might attack them the next time they have a meeting at the shrine. The town council meets once a month at most. It would be hard to believe that they were holding a meeting today. She probably thought the place researching the parasite is the clinic. Rena suspected that there was something fishy about the clinic from the beginning, and that suspicion must have changed to certainty in her head by now. Did that mean she was going to attack the clinic? This wasn't like an action movie. What could she do all by herself? Was she going to start a fire? No, that would be pointless. In order to expose the conspiracy, she'd have to get proof that they were actually studying the parasite. Was she going to break into a clinic and get questionable, weird samples? The last problem of all was how much time she had left. She believed she didn't have much time left, especially under desperate, disadvantageous conditions. She might try to stab whoever she thought of as an enemy. But Rena sounded like she really believed she would regain her happy and peaceful days after everything was over. Rena probably meant she was going to stay alive and win. Was there something like an antidote? It didn't have to be real. As long as it was an antidote to Rena's delusion, it didn't matter what it was. It could even be the water you washed your vegetables with. But if she thought she could get the antidote so easily, she wouldn't have been so desperate about the time she had left. The antidote must be difficult for her to get. The easiest place for that, in her delusion, was that it was hidden somewhere in the clinic. Putting it all together like that, I felt like Ilya and this clinic were in danger. Now that I thought about it, the elderly people in the village, including the members of the town council, hung out in the waiting room of the clinic all the time. If most of the board members happened to gather there, for her it would be the perfect place to attack. I told Mion about that during lunch break.
普段ならそんなバカなって言いたいところだけど、その可能性を全く否定できなくもないからね。本家に電話してみるよ。診療所にも人を配置するように言っとく。
Mion didn't object to my crazy idea. She put down her chopsticks and went to the teacher's office to make a phone call.
先ほどからなんだか物騒な話でございますけど、本当にレナさんがそんな恐ろしいことをなさいますの？診療所を襲うなんて信じられませんわ。
するかもしれない。しないかもしれない。でもな、怒っちまったらおしまいなんだよ。惨劇に抗うってことは、起こさないように戦うってことなんだから。
何事もないことを祈りたいのです。
Oh dear, I have to make a choice. I am just going to save quickly. Just a little easier to get back to this point. Let's go with the first option. It'll be alright.
わかりました。若いのを2人ほど診療所に送ります。
まさかとは思うけどね。何をやらかすか分かったもんじゃない。
姿を見たら直ちに引っ捕らえてしまって構いませんか？
本当は嫌なんだけどな。どうしようね。
先日の会合で竜宮レナを確保して警察に引き渡すことで決着しています。ですので引っ捕らえても一応筋は通ります。
うちの対面じゃなくてレナの心情的に気の毒だなってこと。できたら本当に静かに決着したいんだけどね。
まあお若いですから、人さえ殺さなければ大抵はごめんなさいで済みますよ。
Yes.
じゃあアウトかもだ。
いえいえ、見つからなければセーフですから。セーフ。沖宮の界隈ではあの二人の失踪を気にする者はいません。何かのヤバい話を踏んで夜逃げしたんだろうということになっています。あの程度のゴロつき、次から次へです。ですからセーフ。
アウトだのセーフだの、あたしら野球拳でもやってるわけ？まあいいや。それじゃあくれぐれもよろしくお願いします。
了解しました。では引っ捕らえてよろしいんですね。
ちゃんとタッチアウトにするんだよ。クロスプレーなんかにしないようによろしく頼みます。
I couldn't help but have a silly chat with Kasaya-san. When I put the phone down, I sensed Chie-sensei was looking at me. No wonder, as she'd been able to hear the conversation clearly in this tiny room. Chie-sensei put her screen down, and with a sad look on her face, she asked the following.
今の電話は竜宮さんをめぐる話ですか？
まあ、はい。
園崎さん、
竜宮さんはどうして家出をしちゃったんでしょう。お友達として何か知ってはいませんか？
It was hard for anyone to understand Rena's situation, except for me and Kei-chan. So most of them thought that Rena just ran away from home. But after she did, the cops made too much of a fuss over it. Oishi stupidly believed that the scrapbooks were a big scoop, and he overreacted in trying to find Rena. He had patrol cars running around everywhere in the village. He even used the town council's phone directory to find her. So people in the village thought Rena did something wrong and was trying to run from the cops. What was going to be difficult for me, more than finding her, was to make up a story to retrieve Rena's honor after they detained her. What about this? Rena went for a walk, fell down and hit her head on the edge of some tofu and lost memory. Moichi misunderstood something big time and he thought she was a criminal. It was too easy. Anyway, we did make it clear that Oishi was the one who misunderstood everything at the day of the other meeting. At the meeting the other day. What? Okay. I had to make the best use of his name while he was feeling down for once. What I'd have to do was not make a big deal about the situation, and to create an environment that allowed Rena to forget everything that happened, in order to get her life back together as soon as possible.
大丈夫ですよ先生。レナは今ちょっと病気になってるだけです。それを警察の某ベテラン刑事が素敵に勘違いして話をややこしくしただけです。まさか先生、レナが悪いことをして逃走中なんて信じちゃいないですよね。それはもちろんですけど、でも家出することによってご家族におかけしている迷惑を考えれば悪くないということはありません。
She had a fight with her father, and she ran away from home for a little while. She acted childish, and that's all. Maybe that'd be the best story to go with.
何か悩みがあったのでしょうか。それに気づけなかった私は教師失格ですね。一度竜宮さんとじっくりお話がしたかったです。先生、ちょっとヘビーに考えすぎです。もうちょっとリラックスリラックス。プチ家出なんて今時珍しくないですって。はあ、竜宮さんがこのまま不良になってしまって悪いことを始めたらどうしましょう。
Ryuga-san becomes a bad kid. She does something bad and gets arrested by police. It's her teacher's responsibility. I'll be dishonorably discharged. I can't eat curry anymore. I'm dead. Is that seriously her thought process? What is wrong with you? You know, for a second I felt bad for you. Now I don't. Gia-sensei seemed comically upset by her own imagination. It looked funny, so I decided to leave her alone. I made to leave the teacher's office to go back to the classroom, but right then, the phone rang.
はい、もしもし。ひなみ沢文庫でございます。
Gia-sensei had to answer the phone all day today because the principal was on a business trip. I exited the hallway. Then I heard the tone of her voice change.
今、どこにいるんですか?
What? I yelled and looked back at her. It was probably Rena. She called the school. I tried to go back inside the teacher's office, but Chia-sensei gestured at me not to come in. Chia-sensei acknowledged what Rena was saying several times, and then she looked up at the clock.
わかりました。今からすぐ行きます。先生との約束ですよ。
She said only that, put the phone down, and got her purse out of her locker.
院長、先生は休養ができました。しばらく表へ出ますので、みんなを自習させてください。
She took her car key out from her purse. It was obvious that she was going to see Rena somewhere.
先生、今の電話はレナ？以上です。よろしく頼みますよ、院長。
Chia-sensei completely ignored me and she ran out into the hallway. She ran to the schoolyard and got into her car. The moment her car left through the gate, I ran out of the schoolyard myself. I headed for the black car parked near the gate and knocked on the window.
お疲れ様です。今のところ異常ありません。
違う。今出て行った先生の車を追って。多分行く先にレナがいる。
了解っす。
レナは警戒心が強いから注意してね。捕まえたら有無を言わさずに本家放り込んで葛西の指示に従うこと。私の友人だよ。怪我なんかさせたら許さないからね。
Rena must have told Chia-sensei that she wanted to talk to her alone. I could tell this easily from the way she ignored my question. I did feel a little bad for ruining their promise, but it was very important that we caught her before she did something wrong. We could still make up an excuse that she was just wandering around because she had a fight with her father and ran away from home. But if she set fire to the clinic or something, there would be nothing I could do. The car made a rough U-turn near the gravel road and it chased after Chia-sensei's car at full speed. I watched the car until it was gone. All I could do now was to pray that this would be settled calmly.
みんな慶長。午後の授業は自習になったよ。というわけでおとなしく席について何かやること。
自習？
Mion ran up to me and spoke quietly.
レナから電話があった。
え、本当か？
うん。ついさっき職員室に電話が。千恵先生が指定された場所に会いに行ったみたい。
レナのやつ、一体どういうつもりなんだ？
わかんない。とにかくうちの車に先生の後を追わせてる。レナには悪いけどそこで踏んづかまえる。
うまくいくといいな。
荒ごとには慣れてる連中だよ。任せとこ。
じゃあ捕まえれば一件落着なのか？
だね。そしたらとりあえず病院に放り込むよ。きっと専門の医者が見たらなんだってくらいに典型的な何かの病気だよきっと。強迫性、心因性、ストレスなんたらとか多分そんな感じのやつ。
While we were spending our afternoon studying peacefully, the members of the Sonozaki family would capture Rena, who was waiting for Chia-sensei somewhere. The problem would be solved. It wasn't going to be easy after that, but I was sure Mion would take good care of her. And in the end, everybody would understand that Rena just ran away from home because of a silly fight with her father. A happy ending.
一件落着でしょ？
Mion winked at me. She looked like she already thought everything was over. That just didn't sound right to me. I couldn't see any connection between Rena and Chia-sensei. It was hard to explain, but there was something wrong. I wasn't saying that they didn't get along. Rena was a good student, so Chia-sensei had a good relationship with her. She's gonna come to the school, isn't she? But I just didn't understand what Rena wanted from Chia-sensei. While I was thinking about it, the door opened, and one of our classmates came back from the bathroom. With Rena. I called it literally a few seconds ago.
レナ！
みんな起立起立。教室の真ん中に集まって。
Everyone gasped in surprise. Even Chia-sensei couldn't make everybody go so quiet all of a sudden. Rena was gripping the shoulder of a student who came back from the bathroom. In her other hand, she had a big scary-looking hatchet. It was the same one she had the other night. Everyone immediately understood that Rena had taken her hostage.
みんな聞こえてない？教室の真ん中に集まって。 机は周りにどけちゃってね。
Nobody grasped what she was asking us to do. We all froze. Rena was the only one who was smiling. It was terrifying.
みーちゃん、委員長でしょ。みんなに指示して。
レナ、あんた何をやってんの？
Bam. A loud noise washed out Mion's voice. Rena hit the teacher's desk really hard with her hatchet. She pulled out the hatchet, making an ominous ripping noise. There was now a line of violence carved plainly into the desk. Uh-oh, she broke it. She is sensei's gonna get mad when she comes back. No, that wasn't it. What the hell?
みーちゃんはやっぱりダメだね。じゃあケイチくんに頼むよ。ケイチくんだけは最後まで私の仲間なんだよね。だから信じていいんだよね。
Rena, your eyes. You look so scary. I've never seen eyes like that in my life. Your eyes are full of insanity. Why are people afraid of insanity? Insanity means that a person doesn't share the same values and the same common sense as us. For example, say a thief breaks into your house and he ties you up. You'll get scared and wonder if he's going to stab you before he leaves. But you hope that the thief has feelings too, and that he's not going to kill you for no reason. No matter how bad the person is, we tend to believe in his goodwill as long as we share the same values, the same common sense, and the same morals as him. But we can't expect goodwill from somebody who doesn't have those things. We can't expect goodwill from a person who can't communicate with us. When a burglar has a knife, and you beg him not to hurt you, you expect him to listen to you and to show you mercy. In other words, you can still communicate with him. But if he doesn't have the ability to communicate, he's just like a monster that's trying to attack you, or the blade of a guillotine that's falling down on you. You fear him because you can't communicate with him. That's insanity. It was the same fear we were feeling towards Rena at that very moment. She looked like a human, just like us, but there was no room for her to communicate with us like a normal person would. Everybody understood that fear instinctively.
ケイチくん、机をどけさせて教室の真ん中に広場を作って。
わかった。みんなレナが言うのに従おう。
Rena was like a barrel of gunpowder at the moment. She seemed really calm and quiet, but she could explode any minute. When she did, I doubt she'd show us any mercy. She probably wouldn't hesitate to use that hatchet on us. That's right. Just like how I didn't feel guilty or hesitate to kill Rena and Mion. Everybody went all quiet while pushing the desks against the wall to make a space where Rena wanted it. Rena, saying that we're moving too slow, hit the blackboard with the hatchet, making a horrible noise. Every time she did that, she left an equally horrible scar on the blackboard, the thing we looked at most in the school.
じゃあケイチくん、みんなのロッカーから縄跳びを出してもらえるかな。それを使ってみんなを後ろ手で縛ってね。
俺縛るのとか下手くそなんだよ。多分上手に縛れないぞ。
後でちゃんと縛れているか全員のを調べる。
Ask her what she's going to do.
ゆるい人はその場で殺しちゃうからしっかり縛ってあげてね。
We were still kids. We saw the word kill all the time. It was used a lot in comic books and cartoons after all. So, normally, you'd assume we'd be used to hearing the word kill. But when Rena said she'd kill us, it sounded so frightening. I'd never heard something like that before in my life. To Rena, our lives were like cards she could use for negotiation. She'd get rid of one card every time somebody refused her request. Get rid of? Damn it. Why did we use such scary words like get rid of for simple things like playing cards? Anyway, There were about 20 students in the class. That was a little bit too many for Rena to handle. She might get rid of 1 or 2, just to set an example. I decided to do what Rena said because I didn't want her to lose her temper. I got out everybody's jump ropes from their lockers.
じゃあみんな、床にうつ伏せになってね。圭一くんは後ろ手にどんどん縛っていって。
Does Riken know what's going to happen? Or how much does Riken know about what's going to happen? Hmm.
きっちり縛るんだよ。圭一くんは私の味方だもん。だからわざとゆるくなんか縛ったりしない。ね。
Mion tried to make eye contact with me. If everybody was tied down, we wouldn't be able to stop her from occupying the school. There were more than 20 students in this class. Half of them were boys, but most of them were smaller than Rena. But there were enough people here to overpower her. But if we did that, Rena would probably hit her hostage with the hatchet, and she'd use the hatchet to attack the rest of us without hesitation. It'd be a bloody battle. I'm sure somebody would get hurt if we tried to overpower her. The hostage would be seriously injured, or maybe even die. If that happened, it was over. No matter how hard we tried to cover it up, she'd never be able to live peacefully like before. Mion seemed to understand that too. I could tell from Rena's eyes that she wasn't going to go easy on us. If somebody showed defiance, she'd break the hostage's head open immediately. Of course, Rena had done that before. She'd probably do it again with no hesitation. But as long as we did what she said, we could prevent that bloody tragedy. But once you're all tied up, you're not going to be able to stop her then. If we could somehow solve this situation without shedding any blood, with Mion's influence, we might still be able to pretend that this never happened. At the least, we had to make sure she didn't kill anyone.
従おう。
ケイちゃん。
Mion tried to think of ways to overpower Rena, but she couldn't come up with any good ideas to save her hostage. That's how easy it would be for Rena to kill them. The best thing to do at that time was to wait for a chance without agitating her further. Mion lay down on the floor, and everybody else followed suit, sluggish with terror. And I was left alone, standing rooted to the spot with jump ropes in my hands. All my classmates were lying face down on the floor, while Rena was pointing the hatchet at the hostage, watching our every move from behind the teacher's desk. I just stood frozen in the middle of it all.
圭一くんにはまだまだ手伝ってもらうことがたくさんあるの。だから早くして。あんまり時間がかかると何人かが死んでしまうかもしれない。
Some of the little kids started crying when they heard the word die.
大丈夫だよみんな。圭一くんがきっと助けてくれるから。だからきっと誰も殺されないよ。
Damn it. What a bold threat. She said I was her friend, but she was just playing with the meaning of the word. I was the last person who could still fight against Rena under these circumstances. But it wasn't going to be easy to overpower her by myself. I wasn't sure if I could do that. Even if I tried to act tough, once Rena pointed the hatchet at somebody's neck, it was over. I shouldn't fight against her for now. I should just wait for a chance. As long as Rena was alone, there would be a chance. She made me tie them up because she couldn't do that by herself. There was a limit to what she could do because she was by herself. If we could cover this up somehow before Shia-sensei came back, we would still be able to pretend like we were kidding around. I finally realized something. I realized why Rena called Shia-sensei to meet with her. It took you this long after she showed up? Really? Okay. In order for Rena to take over the classroom, she needed to get rid of Chie-sensei. Chie-sensei had a very strong sense of justice, Even if Rena had a gun, she wouldn't hesitate to overpower her. She was the kind of teacher who would risk her life for her students. Rena needed to figure out how to get rid of Chie-sensei. That was the key to her plan. And on that note, I'll end it here for today. I hope you all enjoyed, I guess. Let me know any feedback you have in the comments, and until next time, see ya.